Hey, hello everybody. It is Flashback Friday, and we're reading the OG, Orster and OG. It's from Waking Magic, Book 1. This is the story that started it all, the Lyra Chronicles, and it's got Yumfuck Tiberius Troll in it. If swearing bothers you, this is not the noontime reading for you, or 6 p.m. if you're in Edinburgh, Scotland, or Essex, England. If that doesn't bother you, this is a really good story, well loved, and every Friday we're gonna do Flashback Friday. Still have pool hair. Went swimming this morning, had the whole pool to myself. The lifeguard actually had to get up from sitting by the side and go sit in the chair just for me. It was worth it. I really enjoyed it. I hope you didn't mind. And adding to the running, trying to enter my 60s, doing better. I was on Keystroke Medium last night. Hope you guys got to catch it. I think you can still see it today. We're gonna put all these noon readings on a YouTube channel, Martha Carr author, on, well, YouTube, so that you can see them later. And if you've got ideas for what you'd like to see or what would make it better, please let me know. So let's get started with something that a lot of you probably already heard, but I hope you enjoy it. It's Waking Magic from the Lyra Chronicles, and it includes Quest for Magic. For everybody who's looking for Quest for Magic, it's in this book. And hello, Tracy, glad you're here. I'm hoping Diane shows up so she doesn't bust her streak. But here we go. Detective Lyra Barons was getting impatient. Murder suspect shouldn't get to call the shots. You're gonna need to come out sometime, Arthur, Lyra yelled from where she stood in the weed-filled postage stamp of a front yard. She was giving the suspect 5 minutes to think it over, but then she was going in and getting him. The 5 minutes was just to make her captain happy. Happy captain, happy life. Fuck Arthur, it's us or the Mexican federale, she yelled, squinting into the hot Texas sun as she tried to persuade him. I hear our hospitality is better. She turned back to looking at the house. It's not going to be pretty if we come in there. He's coming out, said her partner, Detective Felix Hagen. He's out of options. We're the only ones who won't shoot him. He looked around at the neighborhood, or worse. Arthur was a punk kid in a local upstart gang trying to take over territory in Austin. He had killed a man in a Tijuana bar fight, normally not an Austin problem. Tough luck that the dead guy was a member of the Latin Kings. Even worse luck when the Kings picked up Arthur's best friend, who quickly told them every secret, including a few about Arthur. They had cornered Arthur in a biker bar in South Lamar, and Arthur chose to shoot his way out of there. A kid fresh out of college, not much younger than Lyra, took a bullet to his neck. Unintended consequences. He bled out in a minute, making Arthur an Austin PD problem. Now everyone was looking for Arthur. Lyra glanced down at her watch. The face of the watch shimmered and blurred for a moment. Gold sparks shot out in every direction. She froze, staring at her watch. Shit, she whispered, looking around quickly before looking back at her watch. Not again. 2 days of watching things lose their shape and glow like the 4th of July had her unnerved. Too young for a stroke, or at least she hoped so. Worse idea, she was going crazy like her mother, Erica Barons. She was sent off to the padded rooms at 32 when Lyra was just 10 years old for talking about entire worlds that no one else could see. Lyra shook her head and looked again. The dial of the watch cleared. Let it go. 1 more minute. You getting antsy? Youth, said her partner with a snort of laughter. Lyra glanced at him and back at the rundown bungalow. She was giving him the look he had nicknamed the dead fish the first week they rode together. Lyra thought of it as more of a blank stare. Don't be an asshole, Felix, just because I can still see my shoes. Old age is making you cranky. She said it matter-of-factly. That would bother me more if you were wearing grown-up shoes, he said, smirking at her Merrill Vapor blue and orange thin-soled running shoes. It was the most expensive thing she ever wore. Somebody's got to be able to run after the bad guys, she told him, not looking in Hagen's direction. He let out a laugh. He liked his young partner, even if she was impossible to read. Frankly, he saw it as one of her better qualities, even if you could never tell if she was trying to make a joke or just stating the obvious. It didn't take him long to also realize Lyra didn't like chit-chat and never hesitated to shoot. More reasons to like her. She wasn't much to look at, despite the curves and skinny pants she favored and flawless ivory skin, with a face framed by thick, short, dark hair that curled around her face. Men did occasionally try asking her out back when she was at the University of Texas, but no one ever got her way of looking at the world. She liked being able to reason things out and leave feelings out of it. Life was a lot easier that way. But not being willing to tell a guy what he wanted to hear accomplished jack shit for her dating profile. Damn house looks like it's being held together by the paint chips, she said, still aiming her semi-40 at the front door. Okay, enough of this, she griped, taking the front steps 2 at a time. Arthur shouldn't get to eat his last meal as a free idiot in peace. I'll make sure to tell the captain you paused before doing your usual foot through the front door, said Hagen, following her up the stairs, his 45 raised as he quickly scanned left to right. Lyra turned, her back to the door, and kicked backwards, splintering the old wood as the door swung open, banging against the wall. She swiveled and whispered, going left. Hagen nodded, slipping down the narrow hallway to the right toward the bedrooms. Clear, Lyra called out from the kitchen, looking out toward the back porch. A plate of half-eaten mac and cheese was on the kitchen table. Lyra kicked a fork, making it slide across the floor. Arthur, your last meal was powdered orange cheese, she called out, looking around. It's poor choices like these that got you to this point in time. A loud crack rang out. Detective Hagen let out a deep, strangled scream. Stop, goddammit, he yelled. Detective Behrens wasn't sure if her partner was yelling in pain or out of habit. She ran down the hall in time to see Arthur squirm through the window in the back bedroom. Hagen was collapsed on the floor holding his shoulder. Blood was seeping through his fingers. Go get him, he yelled through his clenched teeth. Get the little fucker. Call for a bus, she called over her shoulder. She slipped easily through the window and took off after Arthur as he leaped over the chain-link fence into the next yard. She vaulted the fence, already running, as she closed the distance between them. Arthur looked back to see where she was and was surprised to find Lyra right on his heels. He tried to bring the pistol up just as she punched him hard in the face. She caught him mid-stride, tackling him as the pistol flipped end over end in the grass. That's for Hagen, she spit out, wrenching his arms behind his back and closing the handcuffs tight around his wrists as he squirmed on the ground. He spit out grass, twisting around to look up at her. You broke my fucking nose, you bitch. Yeah, you're having one hell of a bad day. She jammed a knee into the small of his back. What the hell? You taking steroids? Arthur whined. How do you get to be so strong? Lyra pulled him up and grabbed his gun, pushing him back the way they came. She dragged him back to the small house and right up to the window, shoving him back through the same window. He landed with a thud. She easily crawled through and stood over him. Damn, lock me in the car instead. Why do you have to do me like that? Never use a door? He complained, rolling over and trying to stand. Lyra ignored the bitching and shoved him back to the floor. Shut up and stay there. The sound of sirens was getting closer. Move, and you have a bigger problem. Lyra went to the bathroom and pulled a dirty hand towel off a plastic circle hanging from the wall, hurrying back to the room. Hagen, you okay? She asked, handing him the towel. Here, press this on your shoulder. It's the least questionable rag I could find in this place. Damn, Behrens, you sound like you're worried. Makes me think I might be dying if you're concerned. He grunted, his face twisting in pain. Lyra gave him the dead fish look. Much better, he smiled. Now I know I'll be okay. Get a room, Arthur sneered. Lyra turned to him and delivered a swift kick. She stood there waiting to see if he had anything else to say. He gave off nothing more than the occasional whimper until a couple of uniforms came to take him away. Feel free to bounce his head a couple of times when you tell him to duck getting into the back seat, she said as they marched him out. The paramedics rushed in, hovering over Hagen. I can walk my own damn self out. Don't give me crap about policy. He struggled to his feet as the two medics helped him down the hall. I'll meet you at the hospital. Lyra followed them out and got into her car, turning on the lights and siren. Lyra waited at the hospital until Detective Hagen was stitched up and relaxing with green jello in his own room. This is the life, he said, lying back in his bed, trying to fish out the last bite of jello with one hand. Lyra managed to smile. All the paperwork we're going to have to fill out for a flesh wound. I better enjoy this. He shook his head, slurping the square of jello off a white plastic spoon. I think the flesh wound is supposed to be the good news. I gotta go, she told him. Your wife on the way? He looked up and shrugged. Yeah, damn boss wouldn't let her off any earlier without clocking out. My fault, just a little. I told her all I got was a scratch. Go before she sees me and the yelling starts, he said with a wink. Lyra slipped past the nurse's station as Rose Hagen was demanding to know why her husband had to stay overnight. She thought about stopping to say hello, but when she turned to head in that direction, the desk lost its shape and the gold fireworks started again. Damn, it's bigger. Lyra whispered, frozen to the spot. She reached back for the wall to try and orient herself. Oh no, she said, as the middle section of the station disappeared altogether. The center of the oversized circle turned a watery gray. Her eyes grew wide and she instinctively rested her hand on her gun. Someone or something in the giant murky space was looking back at her. Not happening, she whispered, as she stepped forward to get a better look. The gold fireworks around the edges hummed. Hell, they snapped, crackled, and popped. This is a hell of a hallucination, muttered Lyra, as she put out her hand to see what would happen. Curiosity was always her go-to, even when caution was the sane choice. But sanity was clearly checking out, so why not go all in? Whatever it was felt large and squishy, more solid than she expected. Hey, said a startled nurse, trying to right a tray of small paper cups filled with medications bouncing around the tray. Lyra's hand was resting on her boob. The nurse's station was back where it belonged, and the opening was gone. No more sparklers, just low fluorescent lighting. Sorry about that. Lyra quickly removed her hand. Was trying to point at something. Making something up on the fly always ends badly for me. She tended to stick closely to the truth, but she had never faced trying to explain her own crazy before. Next time, ask before you touch, the nurse ordered. Lyra gave her the dead fish look. Not really my type, she said, trying to make a joke. The nurse narrowed her eyes. You should be so lucky. Into men, Lyra told the nurses retreating back. The nurses at the desk let out a laugh. Lyra nodded and waved, feeling her face grow warm as she headed down the hall. Crap. She found her way to their unmarked patrol car, a green Mustang, opened the door, and sat very still behind the wheel, waiting to see if something else was going to happen. Nothing did. First step of going crazy is making an ass of yourself. She took some deep breaths and blinked a few times, hard, to see if she could conjure up the image. Nothing. She tried again. She needed to be sure. Blink, blink. So this won't be like I Dream of Jeannie. Okay, either I sit here or try driving, she said, starting the car. Always did love a challenge. Steady as she goes, brain. Let's see if we can get home in one piece. She pulled the Mustang onto the one-way street, tightening her grip on the wheels, turning up the music. I am not my mother. I am not my mother. Damn headaches. From behind her, there was a hum and a pop. A pinhole appeared between the cars in the first row, widening until it was large enough for the two tall elves to step through. Swirls of light surrounded them, making them invisible to the few people parking their cars or walking through the parking lot. She can see us, said the older of the two elves. An elven crown held down his straight silver hair that was tucked behind pointed ears and flowed past his shoulders. His words sounded like a stream of music floating on the air. It would appear so, the younger elf replied. He raised a long, slender arm, trailing thin streams of colored light with every movement, and traced a half circle in the air with his right hand. A baseball-sized orb of violet light with a glowing yellow center bounced in the air in front of them. Go, sang the elf. The violet ball zipped down the street in the direction of the Mustang that was turning a corner a few blocks away. The light slipped under the back fender and stayed there, glowing softly as the car drove out of sight. She's well suited to our needs. A detective, right? Asked the royal elf. They call her a homicide detective. You know what it means, don't you? That she can see us? The energy within her is strong, stronger than it should be in a human being, stronger than it's been in this world for thousands of years. 13 millennia ago. There was a short pause. That could prove to be a problem, the older elf mused, looking around at the buildings and vehicles lined up on the street. First the murder, now this girl can see us. Something is not right, said the younger elf. One thing at a time. Be glad she can see us. We need her help. His face spasmed with anguish. My son is dead long before his time. Someone will need to pay for it. Time is running short for answers, I fear, your majesty. Then let's get on with it. The younger elf sang a single loud note. The hole widened again, and they stepped back into the glowing portal in the middle of the parking lot. No one in the lot noticed, but they all suddenly thought of the same song. La da da da, sang an orderly on his way into work. Ode to Joy, beautiful symphony. Whatever made me think of that? Ode to Joy? Oh man, that's a thing to die hard, dude, said his friend, humming the same tune. Best Christmas movie ever. Was thinking about the same song. Weird, huh? Coincidences. Gotta love them. Yeah, you and me, the orderly smirked. We're like twins. A low hum behind them went undetected as the hole disappeared, and a last spray of gold flashed and sparkled on the dark pavement. Okay. Hi, Nancy. Glad you're here. And hello to everybody who's joined and who gets to see this later. That is Flashback. That's our first Flashback Friday, and that is the story that started all of Horror Saren, Waking Magic. If you haven't checked out the Lyric Chronicles, it's a fun story with a swearing troll. I hope everybody's having a great Friday. I started mine with swimming, and it was heaven. And it's like meditating. And I've already run to the grocery store, have a friend coming over tonight. Pretty good. Again, let me know if you have questions you want me to answer or things you want to hear about. I could add something like the author notes at the end of these, like for just a second. We will keep developing these, and the amazing Grace, who is my admin, is going to get all of these up on a YouTube channel for Martha Carr Authors, so you'll be able to go see them later. I will talk to you all Monday and the menu for next week will be out today. And I hope you have a great weekend. I will see you in the Facebook group, Pea Brain Society, and love you all. Talk to you later.